Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. If you're just joining us, January 21st through the 27th is Milwaukee Museum Week. We're making our way around town to several museums just to remind you of the outstanding, rich history that's right here in our city. We're now at the Pabst Mansion, which was placed on the National Register of Historic Places back in 1975. And here to tell us about this award-winning house is Jodi Rich-Bartz. She is the curator here at the Pabst Mansion. Hi, Jodi.
Hi, Andrea.
Thank you for having us here.
Of course, it's our pleasure.
Oh my goodness. And you know what? Right off the bat, you're like, where do you start? Because I believe it was in 1892 that this beautiful home was completed. And that, along with the furnishings and the artwork, people will not believe came to like $254,000.
Yes, such a bargain price today.
Are you kidding me?
But you know, in 1892, that's millions of dollars today. And so this was on what was a stretch known as Grand Avenue. So this was not out of place at all, whereas today it seems a little bit stuck in the middle of a commercial zone and that sort of thing. But 2 years to complete, started in 1890, and the family moved in July of 1892.
Amazing stuff. So let's talk about the history of this mansion because it has gone through several scenarios over the years, and with a lot of museums, you know, it's always they go through that situation of being restored and keeping the history as it is. So you got a lot of the original artwork and furnishings right here. We
do. We're very lucky that we've had a nice continuity in our history. You know, the Pabst family both lived here, Captain and Mrs. Pabst, until they passed away. And in 1908, the home was sold by the surviving Pabst children to the Archdiocese of Milwaukee. And we're very lucky that during their ownership of the home, most of those other neighboring mansions here on what is now Wisconsin Avenue were lost. But they were here, they used the mansion as their house, so the rooms were never altered to any great degree. The custom-built furnishings that you mentioned on the first floor stayed with them the entire time. And so then when we took over ownership in 1978, we opened our doors in May of 1978 as a museum, that stuff was still here. And then through the generosity of many of the Pabst family members, some of the original artwork and more personal items like bedroom furniture and clothing and things like that have come back to us over the course of the past 40 years or so. Wow.
And looking on the first floor, you allowed me to see different rooms, just the detail and the beauty of just the buildings, everything is absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. You know, the Pabst Mansion itself is part of the exhibit, if you will, as opposed to going to a more traditional museum. When you come through, you're not only going to view the objects, but the house itself. And we've taken great pride in the accuracy of our restoration as far as the colors that are put back on the walls and the artwork and things like that.
Yeah, so when we look at the history of brewing of beer in Milwaukee, everybody always knows Milwaukee pretty much set the blueprint for the rest of the world, I think. But you had the captain who actually was traveling here by boat from Chicago, and he met Maria Best, who he ended up marrying, and it was her father who actually was in the beer business first.
Yes, and so a lot of people don't realize it's Pabst Brewing Company, right? But Captain Pabst actually married into the brewing family. Maria Best's grandfather, Jacob Best, founded the brewery here in 1844, and so her father was running it, and it was through that sort of tie he would take Captain Pabst's ship back and forth between Chicago and Milwaukee that they met, and that's how they were introduced to each other, and they were married in 1862.
So he bought into the company, the family company, for $21,000.
Again, a bargain price.
A bargain. Well, the rest, as they say, is history. So let's talk about some of the things that, you know, really are mesmerizing to your visitors when they come to the Pabst Mansion.
You know, we draw from a lot of different audiences. We're a big tourist destination in the summertime when people are coming to Milwaukee in general, but we will get beer enthusiasts, but we also get people who love to tour historic houses. And so we really have a diverse group of people who will come tour the mansion, and we offer, depending on what time of year you're here, you can do guided tours or self-guided. We decorate for Christmas, which is another big draw for people who are looking for holiday things. And then we do special events throughout the year as well to bring in more local crowds. We do a beer tasting, a wine tasting in the evenings, depending on the time of year and that sort of thing. So, you know, and then participating in the Milwaukee Museum Week gives us another chance to open it up to more local types of people. We're always really encouraging our Milwaukee audience to come and take a tour with us, because there is something of interest, no matter what your background is or what you think you might be interested in when you get here. You're always very surprised.
I totally agree with you on that. And you think about the Pabst Mansion, then there's the Pabst Theater, and then of course there was Pabst beer.
Sure.
Those are huge things that people really relate to when it comes to Milwaukee history, but there was so much more many years ago, right?
There really was. The Brewing Company is probably the most famous today, but Frederick and Maria Pabst were also holders of properties all across the United States, and they included here in Milwaukee, St. Charles Hotel, which is no longer here, Whitefish Bay Resort, the Pabst Park, which had a little roller coaster in it, located towards the north side of Milwaukee, various restaurants all across the United States, in Harlem, New York City, San Francisco. I mean, people are floored, but the problem now is they're not remembered very well because those were closed during Prohibition. And so then all of that stuff came back to Milwaukee, which is why we're kind of a larger repository for not only original artwork and things like that, but things that were originally held at those other Pabst properties across the United States.
So any special plans as we wrap up Milwaukee Museum Week here at the Mansion?
Yeah, so we have a couple activities this weekend. On Saturday, we're open 10 to 4. We're doing a couple things to really try to get a younger crowd in, introduce more children to the Pabst Mansion, what we can offer here. So from 10 to 11, we're going to do a book reading. A really great new book called The Great Milwaukee Hamburger War just came out, and we're one of the backdrops in there. It talks about a lot of other museums here in Milwaukee. The illustrator is going to be on site to do a reading and to sign some books which will be for sale. And then we're also offering self-guided tours that day. People can come through, take their time. But for the children that may come through, we're also offering a scavenger hunt. So you're going to try to spy black and white photographs of the Pabst Daily numbers, note where they are, and then when you get to the end, if you found them all, you get a little prize, and you get to take your picture as Captain and Mrs. Pabst upstairs. So we're very excited about that.
Yeah, and the thing is it's important for people to remember you guys are always open to the public, so you don't have to just make it here for Museum Week.
Right.
It's always here and always something interesting to see. And people are able to actually rent out the mansion for parties. There's been a wedding here.
Yes.
And am I right, but were the funerals of the Captain and Mrs. Pabst held here as well?
They were down in the music room on the first floor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, people would be interested to see that.
They
I'm
would.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We're happy
see
to
the
point those
room
out.
where it all took place.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we've only touched the tip of the iceberg, so it's just an example of all the great things that you have to really view and learn when you come here to the Pabst Mansion.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
You're
allowing
welcome.
us to come by.
Thank you for stopping by.
It has certainly been a pleasure. Jodi Rich-Bartz is the curator here at the Pabst Mansion. For more information, you can visit their website at pabstmansion.com or call 414-931-0808. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue our tour of awesome museums as we wrap up Milwaukee Museum Week. We'll be right back.